My best friends cyber-tied my fiancé Rafet's while I was dying. Then they hated my face as they stole my company from me. I founded Apex Corp. I was at the top, then I got slammed with a mystery illness, so I had to leave my company in the hands of my so-called best friend. Turns out Brian was just waiting for me to get sick. He's always chance to steal everything. My company and my fiancé refold. He even called a shareholder meeting. The goal was to vote me out as CEO. Guys, marking to the mark we all know Brian started, oozing fake concern. He's sick. He can't run the company anymore. It's time for a change at the top. The stooges he'd already bought off raised their hands. They were so eager, but he only held 35% of the shares. My loyal shareholders weren't having it. That's when Jessica, my fiancé Rafetted, walked in. She handed over the 10% of the company. I've gifted her to Brian. That's another vote for Brian, she announced sweetly. Jessica sauntered over to Brian. They held hands, exchanging a look that made my stomach churn. They thought they'd won. Then I walked through the door. Silence descended when I walked in. Nobody expected me, sick as a dog, to show up at that meeting. Faces went white. Only Jessica, Brian, and that old snake Uncle Jerry didn't look surprised. I stared at Jessica. She used to cuddle up to me, begging for diamonds. Brian spun her around. He planted her on his lap, cupping her face and kissing her hard. He glanced at me. A smug grin plastered on his face. The room held its breath. Everyone knew Jessica was my fiancée Refugio. Seeing her making out with Brian was like a punch in the gut. All eyes landed on me, waiting to see what I'd do. A wave of fury and pain washed over me. I stormed over and yanked Jessica off Brian's lap. Jessica, what the hell is going on? You were my fiancé reparate. You were sleeping with my best friend, and now you are giving him my share so he can steal my company. Jessica laughed, a cold, cruel sound. She shoved my hand away. Then she slapped me across the face. Not anymore. We're done. I am marrying Brian, not some sicko who's about to kick the bucket. She thought I was dying. She couldn't wait to find a sugar daddy who could provide a lavish lifestyle. She decided to switch over to Brian, my best friend. It all made sense now. Before I got sick, she kept singing Brian's praises, telling me to let him run the company. She was planning this all along. My eyes burned. I clenched my fists. This was the woman I loved with all my heart. She never loved me. She just loved my money. Brian stood up, wrapping an arm around Jessica's waist. He pulled her close. Hey, Mark, what are you doing here? If you've got the plague, you should be in a hospital bed. If you die, I'll even pay for your funeral. Why are you so riled up? Go home and rest. I'll take care of the company. You don't need to worry your pretty little head. He reached over and ripped the scarf from Jessica's neck. Her pale skin was covered in love bites, fresh ones, old ones, honey. You were amazing last night, sweet-talking Mark, and then giving me the ride of my life, Mark. Love can't be forced. She loves me now, not you. Stop acting like a lovesick puppy. Jessica decided to drop the act too. That's right, stop bothering me. I don't love you. Their revolting behavior left me speechless. They'd been hooking up behind my back for way longer than I thought. I kicked Brian, sending him sprawling. I dove on him, grabbing his throat. Jessica picked up a chair and slammed it down on my back. Pain shot through me. I released Brian. Jessica glared at me, her face contorted with rage. If anything happens to Brian, I'll kill you. She rushed to Brian's side, fussing over him. Brian wasn't hurt that badly. He clung to Jessica, playing the victim. Baby, it hurts. Kiss it and make it better. Blood trickled down my forehead. I stared at Jessica. If this was her choice, I'd let her go. Even if she begged me to take her back later, it would never happen.